To discern the true character of an individual, one must look beyond the surface of smiles and courtesies, which, though pleasant, may only be a mask worn for society's sake. True character is revealed in the quiet, unguarded corners of a person's life, in the moments they believe no one is watching, or when the storms of life tear at the veil they present to the world. The true measure of a person's character is often found not in the grandiose moments of life, but in the small, seemingly insignificant occurrences that pepper the everyday. These moments are rarely planned, they emerge unbidden, testing patience, humility, and grace without preamble or warning. When the stakes appear low, and the consequences negligible, we are most prone to act without pretense, revealing the heart beneath the mask. Consider the minor inconveniences that intrude upon our days: the coffee spilled on a freshly ironed shirt, the unexpected traffic that delays an important meeting, or the interruption of a quiet evening by a persistent knock at the door. In these moments, our reactions speak volumes. A person quick to anger or frustration over such trivialities may reveal an inner life fraught with tension, a lack of perspective that cannot distinguish between genuine crises and fleeting annoyances. On the other hand, someone who responds with calmness and humor shows a heart that values peace over control and relationships over perfection. These small disruptions are opportunities for self-revelation and growth. They act as mirrors, reflecting back to us our hidden priorities and unchecked impulses. For instance, a man who snaps at a child for interrupting his work may claim to value patience, but his actions betray an inconsistency in his virtues. Similarly, a woman who grows indignant over a delayed order at a restaurant may reveal a deeper struggle with entitlement or pride. In these moments, the trivial becomes profound, uncovering the truths we might prefer to ignore. It is in the seemingly inconsequential choices we make that the essence of our character takes root. The decision to hold a door open for someone rushing behind us, to offer a smile instead of a frown when bumped into on a crowded street, or to extend understanding rather than sharp words to a weary cashier, these are not grand gestures. Yet they are the seeds of a life marked by kindness and humility. What we habitually do in the small things inevitably shapes how we respond to life's larger challenges. These minor acts often ripple outward in ways we cannot foresee. The grace we extend in small matters can inspire others, creating a chain of kindness that echoes far beyond the original moment. Conversely, impatience or cruelty, no matter how trivial the context, can leave lasting wounds. The human heart, sensitive as it is, remembers not only the towering acts of generosity, but also the quiet slights and petty grievances. Life's small irritations also reveal how much or how little we understand our place in the broader tapestry of existence. The one who grows indignant at a rainstorm ruining their plans reveals a spirit that struggles to accept life's unpredictability, as if the universe owed them certainty. In contrast, the person who laughs and adjusts to the rain exhibits a heart attuned to the rhythm of life's impermanence. This acceptance of the small disappointments is not a sign of weakness, but of wisdom, recognizing that true strength lies in adaptability and grace. To measure someone's character, watch not how they behave when the spotlight shines on them, but how they act when the stage is empty, the stakes seem insignificant, and no one is keeping score. In these moments stripped of pretense, the soul's true colors emerge. There is an art to responding to life's small provocations with dignity and calm, and it is an art cultivated over time through self-awareness and intentionality. The small things are, in truth, never small. They are the threads that weave the fabric of a person's life, forming the foundation for how they will stand when larger storms come. How one handles the little trials speaks to the strength of their inner character, which will inevitably rise or falter under the weight of greater challenges. In this way, the trivial becomes significant, and the seemingly mundane moments of life are revealed as sacred opportunities to shape and show who we truly are. Our words, when spoken in the absence of the person they concern, often betray the truth of our character. It is easy to wear the mask of kindness or respect when the individual in question is present, but the test of integrity lies in how we speak of others when they are not around to hear. In those private moments, when we think there are no ears to listen, the true measure of our heart is often revealed. When we speak of someone in their absence, we are presented with a choice to build them up or to tear them down. The absence of the individual creates a vacuum, one that we are prone to fill with either respect or disregard. It is in these moments of quiet speech that the foundation of our own character is exposed. If we choose to speak kindly, to give others the benefit of the doubt, to avoid gossip or ridicule, we demonstrate a heart that understands the dignity of others. It shows that we are not motivated by the desire to feel superior or to diminish others for our own gain. Conversely, when we speak ill of others when they are not present, we reveal a character that lacks compassion, humility, and perhaps even empathy. The one who takes pleasure in pointing out the flaws, weaknesses, or mistakes of others, especially when those individuals are not there to defend themselves, exposes their own insecurities. It is often said that those who seek to tear others down are merely trying to elevate themselves in the process, but this is a false elevation. It is a form of weakness, a reflection of the need for validation that comes from diminishing the worth of others. It is important to realize that our words, though they may seem harmless in the moment, have a ripple effect that extends far beyond the immediate conversation. Gossip is a prime example of this tendency. It is a form of speech that revels in the weaknesses or failings of others, often shared under the guise of harmless chatter. When we gossip, we reduce another human being to a mere collection of faults and missteps, stripping them of their full humanity. In doing so, we also reveal our own lack of integrity. A person who is quick to gossip about others, to share unverified information, or to indulge in the negative aspects of a person's life shows a heart that is far more concerned with their own entertainment or validation than with the truth or kindness. The one who engages in gossip does so at the expense of another's reputation, and in this they show their own moral fragility. There is another path, one where we choose to speak well of others even when they are not present. This is not a path of flattery or false praise, but one of genuine respect and understanding. To speak kindly of someone when they cannot hear is to honor their humanity, to recognize that they are more than the sum of their flaws, that they have inherent worth that deserves recognition. It shows that we do not measure others by their mistakes or imperfections, but by their potential, their virtues, and the qualities that make them uniquely human. This choice, though often more difficult, cultivates a spirit of empathy. When we speak kindly of others, we also nurture a deeper understanding of their struggles and challenges. It allows us to see them not as objects to be judged, but as fellow travelers on the journey of life. We begin to realize that we are all, in our own ways, fragile and flawed, and that it is only through grace, both in the way we treat others and in how we view ourselves, that we find true connection. The absence of a person provides a unique opportunity to practice authenticity in speech. When there is no one around to hear, no audience to impress, the words we choose are most likely to reflect our inner values. This is the true test of character. How we speak of others in their absence is a mirror of how we value them, and ultimately how we view ourselves. It is easy to be kind when someone is in the room. It takes true integrity to speak of them with respect when they are not. And in this we reveal the truest depths of our character. To truly understand a person's character, it is essential to observe how they treat those who can offer them nothing in return, those whom society often deems insignificant or unimportant. The way someone interacts with the so-called lesser individuals in their life, the clerk at the store, the janitor at work, the waiter at a restaurant, can offer profound insights into their inner values and priorities. These moments of interaction are not typically publicized, nor do they serve as opportunities for social advancement. Yet they are precisely where a person's true nature reveals itself. When a person shows kindness and respect to someone from whom they have nothing to gain, it speaks volumes about their character. It is easy to be courteous to those who have power, influence, or social standing because they have the ability to offer something in return, be it favor, promotion, or respect. But the real test lies in how we treat those who occupy lower or less visible positions. These interactions are often dismissed as inconsequential by society, but in truth they offer the clearest indication of who we really are. Take, for instance, the person who treats the cashier at a store with kindness and patience even when the line is long and the transaction is delayed. It is not a situation where one stands to gain anything, and yet this simple act reveals an attitude of grace and respect. It shows a heart that recognizes the worth of every individual, regardless of their role or status. By treating the cashier with dignity, the person demonstrates a fundamental understanding that value is not measured by one's social standing or ability to provide material benefit. It is measured by the inherent worth of being human. In contrast, those who view people in these positions as mere tools or obstacles often display a much darker side of their character. When someone is impatient, rude, or dismissive to the person serving them, it shows a lack of empathy and a deep-seated arrogance. It reflects a belief that some lives are worth more than others, that those who do not occupy positions of power or prestige are unworthy of basic courtesy or respect. Such behavior reveals a person who defines themselves by their own status and who seeks to elevate their own worth by diminishing others. This is not strength, but insecurity and need to feel superior by stepping on those who are seen as beneath them. The true measure of a person's character also lies in how they engage with those who cannot offer anything in return because they are outside the circles of influence, affluence, opulence, or social importance. The way we treat those who cannot help us is an indication of whether we value them for who they are or whether we view them solely as instruments to achieve our goals. In these interactions, we see the depth of a person's integrity and compassion. Do they smile at the janitor who cleans the office building late at night? Do they thank the gardener who maintains the grounds, even though their work is often unseen and underappreciated? These seemingly minor acts speak to the heart of who we are. In life, we often overlook or dismiss those who are not in positions of visible power or authority. But these individuals are often the ones who serve as the unsung backbone of society, working quietly to ensure that the world functions smoothly. The way we treat them reflects not just our view of them, but our view of the world itself. Do we see them as worthy of our respect and kindness, or do we see them as expendable? This principle extends beyond mere politeness. It is about recognizing the intrinsic value in every person. When we offer genuine kindness to someone who has no ability to give us anything in return, we are practicing humility and equality. It is an acknowledgement that every individual, regardless of their role in society, carries dignity and deserves to be treated with respect. In these moments, we show that our character is grounded not in what we can take from others, but in what we can give to them. In many ways, how we treat the lesser people in our lives is a reflection of our moral compass. It is easy to be gracious to those who can advance our own interests, but it takes true character to be gracious to those who are powerless. To recognize their humanity and treat them with the same kindness we would show anyone else reveals a heart that is not driven by selfish gain, but by compassion, respect, and an understanding that every person has value. These small, often overlooked moments are the ones that reveal the truth of our character, for they reflect our deepest beliefs about the worth of others. In the quiet spaces of solitude, a person's true character is often revealed. When no one is watching, when there is no expectation or pressure to perform, the way one spends their time and directs their thoughts speaks volumes about what truly matters to them. In these moments, when external distractions fall away and the noise of society fades, we confront ourselves, not the version of us that we present to the world, but the person who remains when all pretense is removed. What someone does in their moments of solitude often reflects their deepest passions, fears, and desires. This is the time when a person is most free to be their truest self, unfiltered and unguarded. It is not unusual for people to act according to social norms when surrounded by others, tailoring their behavior to fit what is deemed acceptable or admirable. But when alone, there is no need to hide behind a facade or to conform to external expectations. In solitude, a person's thoughts, actions, and choices are shaped solely by their inner convictions. Take, for example, how one spends an evening alone. Does the person retreat into the comfort of distractions, television, social media, or other fleeting entertainments that keep the mind from stillness? Or do they seek out something more meaningful, like reading, meditation, or contemplation? The way someone fills the empty spaces of their time reveals the true nature of their interests and values. Someone who fills their solitude with superficial distractions may reveal a mind seeking constant stimulation or avoiding deeper reflection. This can point to a deeper dissatisfaction or an inability to engage with the self on a deeper level. Conversely, a person who uses solitude as an opportunity for growth, whether through learning, reflection, or creativity, is someone who values depth, introspection, and self-improvement. Solitude often exposes a person's relationship with themselves. It is in the silence of being alone that we must confront our own thoughts and emotions. Do we struggle with feelings of inadequacy or guilt? Do we engage in negative self-talk or try to drown out our inner insecurities with external noise? Or do we embrace solitude as a space for healing and self-understanding? The way we treat ourselves when no one is watching is a clear indicator of our self-worth and the health of our inner world. A person who can sit in quiet with themselves, comfortable in their own skin, and at peace with their own thoughts, demonstrates a sense of self-respect and inner balance. On the other hand, someone who feels compelled to fill every moment with external noise may be avoiding confronting their inner turmoil or unprocessed emotions. Solitude also reveals the pursuits to which a person devotes their time and energy. While social interaction often centers on external goals, work, family, social status in private, we turn inward and engage with what truly captivates us. A person who, in solitude, spends time cultivating a passion for music, art, or a meaningful hobby shows a heart that seeks fulfillment beyond material success or external approval. These pursuits are not motivated by the need for recognition, but by an intrinsic desire to explore and create. On the other hand, someone who spends their solitary moments fixated solely on personal gain, wealth accumulation, or the maintenance of status shows that their inner life is shaped by external pressures and expectations, rather than by a deep personal sense of fulfillment. The way we use solitude also speaks to our capacity for introspection and growth. In the quiet, we are often faced with the opportunity to look back on our actions, evaluate our choices, and plan for future improvement. Some use this time for genuine self-reflection, recognizing their flaws and striving to do better. Others, however, may shy away from such honesty, preferring to remain in the comfort of unexamined life, avoiding the hard work of confronting their imperfections. The ability to sit in silence and evaluate oneself without fear or defensiveness is a hallmark of emotional maturity and self-awareness. Those who avoid this process may find themselves repeating the same mistakes, trapped in patterns of behavior that prevent personal growth. What someone does in solitude reveals their truest priorities. While social settings often shape our actions to some degree, solitude provides the clearest window into who we are beneath the surface. It is in these moments away from the gaze of others that we reveal what we value most, whether it is self-improvement, creativity, peace, or distraction. The way we engage with our own company speaks to the state of our inner world, revealing whether we are at peace with who we are or struggling to avoid confronting ourselves. The choices made in solitude are not always visible to the outside world, but they are no less significant, for they shape the person we are becoming and the legacy we leave behind. Adversity is one of life's greatest tests, and how we respond to challenges reveals much about our true character. When the winds of hardship blow, when we find ourselves face to face with struggles, setbacks, or suffering, our reactions often reflect the deepest parts of who we are. It is easy to appear composed when life is smooth, when everything is going according to plan and the path is clear. But when the storm clouds gather, when things do not go as we wish, it is in those moments that our true strength or lack thereof is revealed. How someone responds to adversity often uncovers their resilience, their ability to endure, and their capacity for hope. A person who, in the face of difficulty, chooses to remain steadfast, to find a way through the storm, demonstrates a core strength that is not dependent on external circumstances. This type of individual understands that life's challenges are inevitable, and they do not allow temporary setbacks to define their ultimate course. Instead of giving up, they dig deeper, tapping into reserves of courage and determination that they may not even realize they possess. They adapt, adjust, and move forward, knowing that adversity is part of the human experience, not something to be feared or avoided. In contrast, someone who crumbles under pressure or reacts with anger, frustration, or bitterness often reveals a vulnerability that comes from a fragile sense of control. They may struggle to accept the reality of life's unpredictability and become consumed by their own emotions. While this is a natural response at times, it also exposes a lack of emotional resilience. It shows that their sense of security is dependent on external factors, and when those are shaken, so too is their ability to remain calm and clear-headed. This reaction does not necessarily make them weak, but it does highlight an area where growth is needed. To face adversity with composure requires a deep internal understanding that we cannot control everything, and that strength lies in how we respond to what we cannot change. A person's response to adversity also reveals their values. When faced with a significant challenge, do they lash out in self-pity, blaming others or circumstances for their misfortune? Or do they turn inward, seeking understanding, learning from the experience, and perhaps even growing stronger through the struggle? The one who seeks to understand, to find meaning in the suffering, and to use it as a stepping stone for personal growth shows a heart that is resilient, wise, and capable of transformation. Such a person does not let adversity define them negatively, rather, they use it as an opportunity to evolve. On the other hand, when someone allows themselves to be consumed by adversity, when they allow difficulties to lead them to despair or bitterness, they show a lack of perspective. This does not mean that such reactions are wrong or unnatural. It simply points to a person's struggle with accepting the impermanence of life. The person who turns a setback into an obstacle too great to overcome reveals a mindset that is not yet aligned with the reality of human existence, that suffering and difficulty are part of life's cycle, and they do not define us unless we allow them to. How we respond to adversity also reflects our relationships with others. A person who becomes bitter or closed off in times of struggle may alienate those who care for them, while someone who remains open, patient, and compassionate in the face of hardship draws people closer. The way we allow our trials to affect our treatment of others can either deepen our relationships or create distance. A person who remains kind and loving, even when life is difficult, demonstrates an unshakable inner peace and an understanding that hardship is not a reason to turn inward or become selfish. It is an opportunity to show greater compassion, to find solidarity with others who may be struggling as well. The true measure of character in times of adversity is not necessarily how we feel in the moment, but how we choose to respond over time. Do we allow our challenges to define us, to become our identity? Or do we acknowledge them, learn from them, and move through them with grace? It is easy to be generous, patient, and kind when life is easy, but it is in the furnace of adversity that these qualities are truly tested. How we respond to our difficulties, how we choose to face life's inevitable hardships, shapes the essence of who we are. It is in the darkest times that we reveal our truest selves, not because we are perfect in those moments, but because we are real, raw, and honest in how we handle the struggle. Our strength of character is often forged in the heat of hardship, and how we navigate adversity speaks more profoundly than any outward success or accomplishment ever could. The true measure of a person's character is not found in the accolades they receive or the positions they hold, but in the quiet moments of their lives, in the way they respond when no one is watching. It is found in how they treat others, not just when they can benefit from it, but when there is nothing to gain. It is seen in the small acts of kindness, in their words when the object of conversation is absent, and in the respect they show to those society deems insignificant. Character is revealed not only in the grand decisions, but also in how we navigate life's minor challenges, how we face adversity, how we spend our moments of solitude, and how we handle the difficulties that test our resolve. It is through these moments of choice, when we are unobserved, when no reward is attached, and when the stakes appear small, that the truth of our inner lives shines through. For in these moments we see whether we are truly who we claim to be, or whether our actions reflect a deeper, more honest version of ourselves. The essence of character is found not in grand gestures, but in the everyday choices we make, and in how we treat others, face challenges, and engage with our own minds and hearts. In the quiet spaces of life, it is not the applause we seek, but the integrity we cultivate. And in this quiet cultivation of inner virtues, we become not only who we are meant to be, but the kind of people who inspire others to do the same. Our true character is, at its core, a reflection of our values and how we live them out in the smallest moments, for these are the moments that ultimately define us.